Hi. Hey, Amy. Hey, Jeff. What's going on? We're going to have a little coffee talk. What the hell am I doing in my rollers? That's a fabulous question. Hello, Steph. Fabulous question about what the hell am I doing showing up on a live with rollers in my hair? Couple of things. One, life is way too serious right now. Let's just have some more fun. Let's just like unhook from the seriousness. And I mean, obviously we're taking precautions. Obviously we're being smart, but let's not get pulled into the fear virus. Okay. Hey, Celeste. And number two, I was getting ready this morning and that was the intuitive hit. What I heard was go do a live with rollers in your hair. And after I heard that, I channeled for a good couple of hours of just notes until it finally congealed to what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I definitely had time to take these rollers out. But my gut, my intuition, I listened to it. So hopefully this is bringing some humor into your life as well. I'm going to get a little comfortable. Hi, Jeremy. Thank you, Steph. I'm just going to share this and then I'm going to get super comfortable and then we're going to chat about upgrades and superpowers. Did I say hi, Jeremy? And so tell me what's going on for you. Tell me like what questions you have. How can I support you? What is it that's showing up in your life right now that you're just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. How do I move through this? Okay. Or whatever's going on for you energetically, emotionally, what's going on in your physical body. I want to answer some questions in the time that I'm going to be here with you. Also, additionally, I don't think I have to say additionally with also, is I'm sharing an invitation to apply for the big Magic Mentorship. It's a one-on-one mentorship with me, moi, in all of this fabulousness and beyond, that we'll spend 12 weeks together where we're going to get super intimate. And that's why it's like I only hold these open for I only hold so much space for one-on-one time in addition to all of the other things that I do in my work. And so inside this big Magic Mentorship, it's very intimate between me and the person that I'm working with so that we can really get to the core of what is in your way of allowing the fullest expression of you to come through, for you to transmute those patterns of trauma and pain and limitation and really dissolve that discord from what is happening in your life and what you know is possible, right? And so what's happening, it's those in between are your beliefs, are your fears, are the programming conditioning that's been passed down to you, says that, you're already asking for too much, or you can't have that, or who do you think you are, or you're afraid of how other people will feel when you are having a fabulous life, right? So I'm going to do a couple of things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put inside here a link for the application. There's some questions there. It's really so much, it's like, who comes into this work, this one-on-one mentorship, are people who know. They're just like a hell yes. They know that they're ready to move beyond the limitations. They are not letting their fears, their stories, their limitations decide for them anymore. I had a new client come in just 2 weeks ago where she had made the decision to do this mentorship, and part of her goal in us working together was to make, an X amount of dollars extra per month. And within the first 3 days, half of that had already come in. Because it's like when you choose and when you decide, life meets you. And the reason why I'm seeing myself with these rollers and I'm just cracking up. The reason why, like, when life shows up or you don't allow life to show up for you is because of the inner beliefs that you have. It's the mind blocks or even the mind fuckery around like how it'll happen, how long it'll take, Even some of the stories of what you already believe is in the way is actually in the way. And so I'm going to just share this with you, and we're going to get on to the topic. I really just want to, let you know what's available. Let you know what options you have to do next level work, and understanding that it actually, like, the things that you're desiring to create in your life, because you have the desire, because you know the possibility, it is available. It's just about what is in between there. And so that ties really into my talk today about upgrades. And what did I title this? Oh, the viruses are being cleared out of your system so that your superpowers can come through. And that's really what this is about. Okay, let me just share this, and then I'm really gonna be really comfortable. Okay, share it on my timeline. Okay, and so essentially, I'm wondering, will it look better if I put earrings on? Hold on. I forgot. I grabbed these. Oh, this is making the look. This is it. Oh, and you know what? I was chilly before, so I was like, oh, let me put on my cozy sweater. And this literally looks like a bathrobe. Oh, do you want to see it? Oh, let me see. I was like, I look like the housewives of Connecticut. But I'm not. I'm cozy, and it's so important for me to be cozy and comfortable. It's like one of those things, look cute and be comfortable at the same time. It is possible. All right, so let's talk about upgrades and superpowers and how it's really connected to what it is that you say that you want for yourself. The fact that you have a desire, whether it's like you healthier, you want to lose weight, you want to have a loving relationship, you want to have those deep soul connections with other people, you want to feel free to express your art, whether it be through your voice, through your typed message, or through your canvas or your photography. You have a passion inside of you that wants to be expressed. And these upgrades that we go through. So when I talk about upgrades, if you can think of your system, your body is a system, and there is, an energetic, we'll say, how do you want to put this? Like an inner program. So just like inside your computer, inside your phone, you have apps that work, right? So inside you've had energetic apps, we'll call them. And I was thinking about this, where think about how you've come from a baby to a toddler to a child to a teenager to an adult. That's a lot of growth and expansion. The same thing is happening with your energy body. The same advancements that you need for your phone to operate quicker and more efficiently, or the programs in the background of your computer to operate, the same thing is happening with your energy system and your consciousness, right? So that's what these upgrades are for. These upgrades are to clear out the old system, right? So if you think about what viruses do, right? They clear out old systems. Now we can do this without getting sick, without having to lay out. It's about surrendering to the process and listening to your body about what wants to move through you. Hey, Carrie, thanks. You like my hair too. This was the intuitive hit. Go do a live with rollers in your hair today. All right. So these upgrades are not convenient. What it's doing is it's ejecting the energetic system. So now you think about the energetic system, it's compiled of your beliefs, your past experiences, your patterns, right? It's everything that, it's like your beliefs, your feelings, they're not just in your mind. They're in your whole being. They're in your system. And so when you're saying that you want to have a fuller expression of who you are in this life, whatever that looks like. If you're saying that you want to be freer to be who you are, if you want inner peace, if you want like freedom and happiness, however that looks on the outside, like those old systems where you've learned or you were told or you were programmed or conditioned to stay small or to not speak up so you don't, rattle anybody else's cages, or if you, just like, like lack, limitation, fear, anxiety, that stuff gets passed down. It gets learned like a second language. So imagine if you grew up in a household where, Spanish or is Swedish the name of the language? Swiss. The second language, you get what I'm saying, right? Or even somebody asked me if, about knowing Polish. I don't know a lot of the Polish language, no. But it's like if I grew up in that would be a second language. And so when you're hearing stuff like, there's something wrong with you, it's not enough, you've got to work harder, you've got to do things a certain way, there's, and especially if your brain operates very differently, especially if you came in with a system that is more aware of beyond what's happening in here, in this 3D world, you can start to subconsciously start to believe that there's something wrong with you when you're around people who don't understand you. Okay, so we're getting these energetic upgrades, and it's like a virus where it's cleaning out our system. And what that will look like, first of all, it could be physical aches, pains, discomfort. You'll start to see stuff from your past come up. You'll see cycles and relationships come up. You'll see something come up again where you feel like, I've healed this, but why is it popping up again? Well, if you've only transmuted it in your mind, if you've only changed your mind about it through a mantra or an affirmation, or if you've stuffed it down, or if you've pushed it aside or whatever, you still have the energetic imprint. You still have the energetic program running through you. So what's happening is that in your desire, in your intention to have more and better, because you know it's possible, because it's within you, you feel it, you know it, you want it, your system is trying to eject the fears, the limitations, the insecurities, the self-doubts, the pain, the betrayal. Right? So if you want a deeper love relationship, or if you're stuck at single and you want that relationship, the beliefs about yourself about not being enough or something wrong with you has to go. Weight loss. If you're finding yourself like stuck at a certain weight and you know that you want to release the weight, but if underneath you doesn't feel safe, if underneath you feels too vulnerable to let go of the excess weight, if you are holding on to like resentment or pain, that's energy. Energy is going to manifest in your body in some way. Excess weight, aches, pains, depression, anxiety. Right? All of these things, like I was working with a client on her migraines, right? It's like already within like one focused the one focus attention, one space of attention on it, like it shifted the pattern within a day. It shifted the pattern of what she's used to, what usually happens, because we're working at the core of where the migraine originates, right? So that's so much of where my work is like, all right, it's the inner system. Right, so what is at the inner system? What is at the origination of where you're afraid to let go of the fear? Where are you afraid to be more expressive of who you are? Where are you afraid to like share your heart? Because this life, you guys, is not so much about getting the things outside of you and then you'll be happy, getting the money, then you'll be happy, getting the love and you'll be happy, losing the weight and then you'll be happy. That's all mind fuckery and programming as well. Because it all comes from within you first. So if you find yourself in cycles of having accomplishments, but then they fall, like your bank account grows and then it collapses, or you lose the weight and then you gain it back again, or every 3 months the relationship, ends, or you're seeing yourself in the same relationship cycle in your long-term relationship, it's about getting to the core of what's really originating it. So what's at the core? And right now I'm telling you, the upgrades that are coming through are helping to clear that out. Now, why you stop is because it gets uncomfortable. Why you don't allow what the transmutation, the upgrade, the change to come through, right? To quantum leap into that reality of your desire, is that it becomes uncomfortable. Upgrades are uncomfortable. They become chaotic. And it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be chaotic. It doesn't have to be hard. What it does require is for you to show up for yourself, for you to not go into the comfort zone of the limitation and the fear, for you to be with whatever is being presented to you right now and make a different choice, to have that hard conversation in your relationship, to do something that is different from what you've always done, to break the cycle, to do the scary thing that you're being led to do, to alchemize the energy within you. Discomfort is your doorway through to your next level. Discomfort is going to blast open things that you don't even know have been in your way. But what happens is that you get uncomfortable, right? It's like when these upgrades are coming through and the old programs are being ejected like a VCR tape. The tape is all entangled inside of here in your system, right? You've got walls around your heart. You've got stuff going on, and it's affecting your digestive system and in your belly, right? And your trauma system like ignites when you're about to do the scary thing, right? So your mind, when it gets triggered, your nervous system gets triggered and it says, abort, delete, eject, and it says, get out of the hard, uncomfortable situation. I'm telling you, discomfort is your doorway through to your next level. And it is not going to hurt as much as you think it's like your mind is telling you, because what's really that voice that's really saying something to slow down, stop, eject, abort is the part of you that's going to be dissolved. It's the part of you that's going to be alchemized and transmuted, right? It's that limitation part of you. It's the fearful aspects of you, the parts of you that you developed for survival and to make it through certain areas of your life, or to not feel the pain about what others said about you or did to you. But those same aspects are holding you back from what you really want. And when you go to move through, they'll kick up. And because it's like they're about to be annihilated or integrated or alchemized. It's all different, because some of those survival aspects have really created gifts for you and superpowers. There's a video on my YouTube where I speak about I can't think of it right now, but go to my YouTube, Kellyanne Matuskiewicz, and there's so many good things on there. But I did a YouTube video not too long ago about what the hell? I don't know why it's coming up. Hold on. Let me sip my coffee. Do you guys have any questions so far? Hey, Laura. Hi, Natalie. Oh, it's like your survival mechanisms are your superpowers. There you go. That's the title. I just needed to pause for a minute. So back to these upgrades. So what happens is it gets uncomfortable, because that part of you is going to be annihilated. It's going to be transmuted, or it's going to be integrated. It's going to be given a different job. But it's freaking out because it was developed. You developed it to keep you safe and to survive. And it's thinking, if I let go of this, I'm going to be annihilated. But you're not. You're actually going to unveil more of who you really are and let the superpowers come through. So let me talk about superpowers for a second, because I know that this is like we've got superpowers beyond. But let me just start and keep it simple. Manifesting, law of attraction, right? Let's just keep it at this. You know enough that if your thoughts create, right? it's just a matter of, are you coming from that in a conscious way, or is your subconscious, is your survival mechanisms creating, is your fears creating, is your insecurities creating, right? Hi, Laura. When you've allowed the upgrade to move through and your superpower to come through, it's like your intuition is stronger. We all have intuition. You have a knowing. We all have clairvoyance in some way. Some have it, all of them, but it's like a seeing, a knowing, a feeling, a hearing, a smelling, right? There's a deep level of self-trust that is required to fully, like, really embrace and integrate your superpowers. Okay? So what that means is, again, it's like pulling back from the things that you've put outside, put your power outside of you, right? You pull that back and you have that deep level of self-trust, and that gets developed when you get the small whisper of the intuition that says, show up unalive with curlers in your hair, or take a left instead of a right, or go to that meeting or go to that store instead, right? It's like so there's a fine line. There's a fine line, but there's not really a fine line between intuition and fear. And I feel like I'm going to do a separate video on this. But essentially, like, people miss their intuition because it's more of a whisper and a suggestion, like, hey, fear, this is how you'll know that you're in fear and your system is stuck in fear, is that it'll keep going over and over again. You'll be over analyzing your decisions, you'll be over analyzing the situation, your mind will go into all different ways of how to, like, survive from it, or you give you all the reasons why not to do it. That's like a lot of people before they come into the work with me, is that the parts that are going to be annihilated, the fears and the limitations, are usually really loud, like saying, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the energy, because they know coming into the work with me is that they're going to be annihilated. So this is why so much about, like, self-trust and allowing the old to release and allow yourself to be upgraded with these new energy systems that bring in higher levels of consciousness, that clear away the chaos and clutter of beliefs and programming and fears and limitations and insecurities, all of that fucking chaos in your mind, that if you can allow it to eject, you have a deeper understanding of where you're actually operating from and where you're choosing from. So as I was saying earlier about, like, your choices are going to be so much easier to make, and your possibilities are going to open up exponentially when you allow yourself to shed, when you allow yourself to move through the upgrade process and allow your superpowers to come through. So I'm not talking about pointing your finger and, like, setting a fire to something. What I'm talking about, superpowers in, like, having that divine connection with yourself, God, the universe, to have the conversation and communication to hear what those next best action steps are. Those things that are going to put you into alignment with what it is that you say that you want for yourself. So these upgrades, the superpowers, the upgrades bringing through the superpowers, upgrades are clearing away. And the superpowers that are coming through are your knowing, your feeling, your clarity. Okay, there's a lot of energy moving right now. And that's the thing, these upgrades are not going to come when they're convenient. They're not going to come when they're convenient. You're going to have to cancel plans. There's been times where what I've learned is that as I've surrendered to them, the energy moves and integrates much more quickly. Hours or a day versus weeks, months. I worked with somebody in January who had been struggling hard with some life changes for at least 5 months, struggling hard and affecting all areas of her life and her physical body. We had one session and it changed everything for her. Because what we did is we got to what that core of what was actually the struggle was and transmuted it. And so now when life comes, it's not there's nothing for it to poke at, right? So that the inner turmoil and struggle doesn't come. So that's what's happening. So with these upgrades, what's happening is your outer life is coming and bringing chaos. Chaos that is supporting you in seeing where is the internal discord from what it is that I say that I want to what is actually happening. And so it's going to manifest and show up as your car breaking down, getting into an accident, losing your purse, people not showing up to your workshop, relationship discord, right? Some of this is actually, it like, while it feels uncomfortable and chaotic, it's for you. It's for you to start getting really super clear about what your choices are for yourself. What is it that you really want, right? Are you going to keep staying in this pattern of relationship or holding your message back because it's more comfortable to work with what's familiar, even though it's painful? Or are you going to go through the temporary discomfort and allow the upgrade so you can be more tuned in and tapped into the superhuman you are and connected to the super consciousness where there's possibilities and more possibilities available than your limited mind cluttered with chaos, limitation, programming is happening right now. Like another client where it's like we working on recognizing where she's intentionally creating chaos and working with so once you identify it, you can make the shift, and it could be so easy. She actually said to me, like, we did some deep work and she's like, is it that easy? Yeah, it's that easy. The human makes it hard. The human says, oh, it's got to take a long time, or it's got to be hard, or it's actually has to be painful in order for me to have the upgrade. It doesn't have to be. And so once the work around her chaos happened, what happens is that what came into her was this idea around time management that is changing her entire outlook, her entire day, her entire week, and how she feels moving forward. But that idea, that knowing, that understanding wasn't available because there was so much chaos happening that she was holding on to. And so what happens as chaos brings these experiences into your life, whatever it looks like, that is all energy, and you could take that and you can create it by being intentional about what it is that you want moving forward. Okay? So it's not so much about what is happening, it's like, what am I going to do with this? Do I need to let the relationship go? Do I need to put a boundary up? Do I need to communicate and share my voice? Am I ready to finally let go of this insecurity and limitation that I have that's been keeping me small and not expressing myself or my art or my message? And it's like, and then what that happens beyond that, beyond the upgrade, right? Letting the superpower come, so the upgrade comes, the chaos comes, using that energy to create, allowing the superpower to come through, and then letting your superpowers work for you. So many of you that are following my messages and listening to my videos, you're super sensitive, you're empathic, you're in tune to so much. But you've taken on what isn't yours. You've gotten locked into limitations so that you could fit in. You've held yourself back because you're afraid of what others might think. You're afraid you've held yourself back because you're you're afraid of hurting other people's feelings, or afraid to be more happy than the people around you. And what that happens is that the more that you hold yourself back, it just shows up more and more in your body. Migraines. Somebody on here has got something going on with their head. I can feel it. So it'll be showing up in migraines, anxiety. Hi, Erica. Hi, Sabrina. Physical pain, aches, pains, discomfort, digestion, right? And so in my work, we go in and we work on the energetic piece of that to help it clear. Okay, so I'm starting to feel a little bit lighter in my head right now. It's just energy, and it's about learning how to work with the energy. Learning how to work with these upgrades, learning how to work with your superpowers, learning how to work with the chaos that comes. So if you're finding yourself in cycles of chaos and you can't quite get out of it, something is out of alignment. So let me just tune in to see if there's anything that else I have to share. If you have any questions, please ask them, but I might be done. I'm just tuning in. So essentially, upgrades are not convenient times. You're going to have to cancel things. Moving through the discomfort. The discomfort is your doorway to your next level. Chaos comes in your life to use the opportunities and experiences to create from. And what comes through are your superpowers. Your knowing, your feeling, your self-awareness, your connection to God, divine, your higher self is much more powerful. Now, the last thing that is coming through is that another reason why people don't allow this process is that what I've seen is that as your superpowers expand, right? Your knowing, your awareness, your understanding, your empathy, your ability to read and feel energy, as you start to look around in your life and you start to see people in your life that you may not be resonating with anymore, that, there's people still in fear vibration, lack vibration, limitation. You'll start to see that, I remember in the beginning when my intuition was just like seeing people lie, and I would take it super personal when they would lie to me. What I realized, it was actually about them and how they were lying to themselves. And so it's like, some of the patterns of behavior or patterns of thought, or even some of your self-sabotaging behaviors, you start to recognize oh, it actually happens when I'm doing these things or I'm around these people. And so a lot of times people don't let their fuller selves come through because of what's going to happen and the changes that are going to happen with the people around them. But what I'll tell you right now is the more that you suffocate yourself, the more it's going to show up in your physical body, in your emotional body, in your spiritual body. So those things that you're trying to create outside of yourself, the successful business, the romantic relationship, the sharing your art, that's going to be so much harder because you're not using all of what's available within you. So as these upgrades are coming through and it's just uncomfortable in your body, you've got to listen to what your body is asking for. Even though I was in some physical discomfort the last couple of weeks, is that it's because for me, old energetic patterns were leaving, old limitations were leaving. It's like this energetic imprint had to come up and go out. And with that, I was seeing patterns of behavior, patterns of thought. And while it was uncomfortable in my body, my intuition was still telling me to move. Physical movement was still a thing, and it helped the energy move through. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's baths. Sometimes it's, make sure you're in the woods or whatever it is. Drinking more water, adding more whole foods, more, isolation with yourself. People start to make it wrong that they want to be by themselves, but that's not necessarily the case. Like whatever your body is asking you to do it. And yep, I've had to cancel plans before, but those people that are in my circle are working through life the same way, and they totally understand as well. So just know that, like, if you're afraid of your life changing because about who in your life may change, just know that on the other side of it, like, you're going to meet up with people who are more aligned with where you're at. Your soul family, your soul friends will come. And so if you're looking for your soulmate clients, if you're looking for your romantic partner, if you're, looking for your soul family and friends, like, you've got to let more of who you are through. So this evolution and these upgrades that are happening are shedding who you're not. So who you are can come through so that you can be in alignment with what it is that you say that you want for yourself. It's an inner game, people. It's an inner game. I cannot stress it enough. And if you're feeling like stuck and struggling and frustrated, consider applying for the big Magic Mentorship. 12 weeks, you and I together, so we can clear and eliminate these inner mechanisms. We can turn off your survival mechanism, get your inner system in balance, clear out what's no longer working for you, and then step into that creator mode, which all kind of happens at once anyway. But it's like, when the clutter is out of the way, you're more empowered to be creating from the conscious space versus the subconscious fears and limitations. Okay, that's all I have to say. The link for I'm looking for it now right here. Okay, it's called KellyAnnCorey.com mentorship application. Take a look over it. If you feel like this is a hell yes for you, apply. And limited space, because the work is very intimate. And it's how do I want to say? There's so many things that are going through my mind. It's like the deepest work that you'll do. It's the most profound work. It's the work that will create lasting change versus temporary relief. It is the work that's going to guide you into remembering the big magic that you are. This life's journey is about integration of your, higher self, your energy body, your soul, your human being, and integrating all of that so you can tap into more of what is beyond this experience in front of you. So if you know what is happening now, there's more beyond this, and you just can't figure out how to get there or what's in your way, I'm your girl. I'm your woman. Thank you, Jeff. He says it's worth it. It's so worth it. Jeff and I did some amazing work together, and he had an idea, and within a year it's been implemented, and he's doing his thing, and he's an amazing artist. Like, holy shit, amazing artist. Check out his work. And yeah, so it's if you know that there's more that's meant to be for you, there is. It's just that the stories, the programming, the limitation that been going through your mind, like, you haven't been, like, that just needs to be cleared so you can step into the empowered creator you are. So let's do this. I mean, my superpower, one of my many superpowers, is being able to read your energy field, be able to read the chaos that's happening, and be able to work with the energy to transmute it and teach you how to use that energy to create more of what it is that you want for yourself. Yes, we did. I don't know. It's so good. So good, Jeff. All right. Well, have a great day. If you have any questions about it, just message me. I hope this was useful and supportive, and I hope that you're inspired to allow yourself to surrender to what is happening, get out of the way, and allow more of who you are to come through, because it's really from that space that the life experience that you've been craving, that soul expression that has been knocking at your inner door, is just so worth it.